Hello everybody and welcome back to Phasmophobia. Today is Monday, so the weekly challenge should have reset. Today, as you may be able to see, I have a little event happening. And when I mean a little, I mean an entire party. Why? This is 5 years of Phasmophobia. Now it's crazy, because it feels like just yesterday I bought this game and was absolutely terrified to play it. Low-key, it still hits. It's still kind of spooky. Also, there's not much of an atmosphere. Ooh. Even this room has lights. There we go. But yeah, I've just logged in for the very first time. And it looks like we have a veteran. So let's see. It's a badge, right? Yes. We have the veteran badge, and it looks incredible. And yeah. I mean, yeah, not to flex, but I'm quite a veteran. And I mean, I bought this game in either August or October of 2020. So I've been here since essentially the beginning, and I've been making content on it since the beginning. I mean, I made about 10 videos, but then school got in the way, so I have to go back to that. But anyway, nonetheless, let's hop in. What is the challenge mode for today? Deja Vu. This one feels pretty nostalgic, don't you think? Correctly find the ghost type in 6 Tangled Drive. Now apparently there is a double XP happening, so we might get 10,000 for this.
Alright,
We got Nelly Emmett. Wow, that's...
and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Considering we've got her diner coming up. Excellent. Oh, okay, so this is literally the nostalgia challenge, which is very fitting, quite honestly. So, yeah, back in the heyday of this game, you couldn't run. You could only walk. There was only one set, or one tier of item. The ghosts also, they didn't have like a line of sight or anything. Instantly not Yuri, because Yuri's can only... I was about to take a picture of that. Yuri's can only open or close a door fully. That is how you identify them now. So yeah, kind of crazy. Also, I have an announcement at the very end of this video. So stay tuned. Why not stay tuned? Oh, I still have my torch, that's why. So yeah, we're gonna get some more evidence stuff. I assume it's 3 evidences, considering back in its day, the highest difficulty you could play was professional. And you had to reload 1,000,000 times on the map just to get it. Because if you didn't know, the map was a giant whiteboard which randomly had maps. So let's say you wanted Original Asylum on professional mode, and when you roll it, you click on choose map. Only 3 or 4 maps come up. So imagine you had to literally leave the game, rejoin. Is Asylum professional there? No. Leave, rejoin. Is it there now? No. Leave, rejoin. Maybe now. Oh, it's there. But wait, it's Asylum Amateur mode. You couldn't choose the difficulty either. Speak to me, Daddy. Nope. I'm gonna place this down right here. Is that in here? Was somewhere. Let me double check. Well, I mean, I'm getting breath here. Oh my god. That scared the okay, that's like a moment where it gets me. That's the kind of stuff that still gets me. Even 5. Yeah, I jumped out of my chair so hard that I started sliding down my chair. And yeah, Phasmo still hits very hard. I'm gonna take a pill. Also, I don't want to be that guy. But again, back in its heyday, because for some reason the ghost ones were so bugged, they would give you sanity. Don't ask how, don't ask why, but they would just give you sanity. I'm pretty sure, was the glows? No, this was the first iteration of the UV, so I'm gonna use this. Also, I don't wanna point fingers. Still EMF fun. Writing. EMF 5 and writing. That's an interesting selection. Okay, I'll leave you here as you touch the door. You touched that light, okay. It's not thingies, I'm gonna presume. Wait. I was gonna say, like, what? Well, it's definitely not fingerprints if the back is not there. But it wrote in the book. It wrote in the book as I was in the room, so that's his spirit, which would be spirit box. Alright, let's collect spirit box and then have a look about.
From behind.
From behind, you say? Okay. No comment. Let me take a picture of you. Yeah, anyway, I was gonna say, like, if we're talking complete deja vu, it loves that door. If we're talking complete deja vu, I want this door back right here. Right there. Thank you very much. Boom. Not only that, but I want these back on this wall so we can walk through them. I don't know if you remember that, but if you grab the door from up there, pushed down and walked through it, you could go through the map. Yeah. You could phase through walls. Breaker's not. I'm gonna assume the cursed possession is the Ouija board, as that was the only thing that could spawn. It is. Now, another heyday moment. Take any picture. You had to, like, look up directly and then take the picture. Why? Because the hitbox was, like, right on the back. So sometimes, like, the front would work if you'd get the picture perfect. But most of the time, you had to look directly up and, like, drop it, which would then perfectly balance it on its, like, edge. So then you could go behind and take a picture of it. So yeah, Big knowledge. Big knowledge. What other knowledge? Oh yeah, I was gonna say the ghost event never used to be Ring Around Rosies. Did I just see breath? A lighting bug. But anyway. Yeah. The ghost events never used to be Ring Around Roses. How come? Well, it's just never a thing. The one thing that the events did have, though, was a very creepy, like... It was a song. And it was like a... It's like that. Not only that, but I think my favourite part about it was that nothing was really, like, coded around it. So it could just kind of randomly spawn. And you know, I think Tanglewood's a great example because it's quite a small map. But if you're in that, like, ghost event radius, then, well, I mean, you'd have the front door closed, probably. But other than that, you'd just hear, like, a distant singing. It's very creepy. Exactly like that. Also, you'd have had Thomas Wilson show up. So, yeah. Not trying to be that guy. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah. We've got everything we need. Let's skedoodle. What other old head stuff was there? The Banshees were the original demon. They were the only ones that could hunt if you were in the house. Like, immediately. They were the one... Banshees and Revenants were the only ones you'd have to
Job's
fear.
ready for you.
Oh, okay, you don't get the ×2, I see. That's honestly fair enough. I mean, can I click this cake? This is a very nice cake, by the way. Not sure what's happening here, but... Sure. We didn't get like an anniversary trophy, do we? We get the cool badge though. I'll take it, I'll take it. But anyway, let's head back to Tanglewood. Trisha Knight, okay.
Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
I'm gonna go straight for
There's been no reports of violence or sightings, but please remain careful.
this kind of stuff. I also like how we have permanent rain. Another feature that back in the day, Tanglewood was the only map that had rain, because weather was just not a thing. I meant to click this. I think we're too late. Knowledge? Okay. It's back in this area, okay. What's happening? It's only on this side of the house. Yeah, but I'll leave that there. And I'll leave that there. There's some more stuff. Another thing to note, all the doors start shut. That is also another feature that original Phasmophobia had. It sounds like almost nothing, but trust me, it was insane. dwarves. Okay, sorry.
Here.
Onryo, yokai, or mare. Are any of them freezing? Onryo is freezing. Okay. Okay. Hold our horses. Let me actually get the rest of the stuff now. Writing, sure. Don't have anything else. Let's get some more stuff. Turned off the light. Okay. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, the doors used to always stay shut. Like, when you enter the match, everything was closed. Now this was great, because especially when you enter big maps, especially Brownstone High School, all you had to do was take a thermometer. Well, you know, back in the day it was called the thermometer, because the guy who made the asset pack, I don't think they could spell properly, and yeah, it was just thermometer. Yeah. So yeah, all you'd had to do is take the thermometer and walk around high school, only to look for a door open. I don't know why I took a UV, but sure. Dots, oh god. What about dots? Yeah, again. You know, the doors would start shut, so any door that is open is, like, very clearly... Oh, we don't have any dots, of course, because dots was never a thing. Dots was a later update. Also, dots has been copied so much. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of other ghost hunting games made their own dots. And hear me out, because I watch a lot of ghost hunting content. Like, dots is its own thing. However, there are products that are like, what is the actual name? The actual name is like dot matrix system. And just like Phas, you can buy like a pen, or you can get like giant mechanical projections. Can I get EMF from that? Yeah, dots. The name dots comes from Phasma. But other ghost hunting games have just straight up taken that and been like, oh yeah, we're taking this now. And yeah, they've also called it dots, which is kind of funny. Magic. 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 So yeah, that's a bit of, like, lore. A bit of fun, interesting lore about other games. It's freezing, so it's annoying. If I have a camera... take a pill and skedaddle? Yeah, wise move, wise move. I don't want to take a risk, but why not? Unless I need to smudge, I do. In that case, I take that. Okay, what else was the original? Yeah, what else was happening? Oh yeah, let me turn that off. Camera. Yeah, I'm trying to think about our original Phasmophobia stuff. There is gone. Oh no, it's not, it's just there. Insanely loud bong. Anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to think of more original Phas stuff. The ghosts could do like a shadow hunt. Literally hunt in their shadow form, which is very interesting. Ghosts can't do that now unless they get bugged into dots. And that leads to a dots hunt, which I don't know if it's patched or not. Yeah, I don't know if it's patched or not, I would hope so. Yeah. Take a picture of this. Do I need any more pictures? Anyone? Oh yeah, you can't do that anymore. You stupid. No, I'm not. Yeah, old Phasma was... It was such a nostalgia... It's so nostalgic watching it. Because the entire game feels different now. And when I mean different, I mean later. This game used to be so blue, it's kind of crazy. Also, what we've had Spirit, then we've had Onryo. I was gonna say,
Welcome back.
it would be quite funny if we had other stuff happening. Other stuff happening?
Alright.
I meant like,
Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the
imagine the
investigation.
challenge, but we only have the other 12 ghosts that were
Be
known.
linked to a cursed object. Go and take a closer look. Maybe using it will help your investigation.
Just saying, that'd be quite funny. Anyway. And this literally was the game. You walk into a map with a ghost that's either the most insane ghost you've ever had, or a ghost that does nothing. Can you turn, please? Yeah, there's some very creepy stuff that was implemented into the game too, like the mannequins moving. That was always a thing. I'm pretty sure anyway. There's the bone. I swear it's been this bone like 3 times more. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off, and then you are. Sweet. Cool. Moving on. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, the original 12 ghosts were all of these. And the only ones you had to fear were the Revenant and the Banshee. The rest were manageable, but the Revenant was the only ghost that could actually catch up to you. You, and you? Yeah, the Rev was the only ghost that could catch up to you, and the Banshee was the only ghost that could insta-hunt. The rest of the ghosts were not a threat. There was a grace period of like 5 seconds. Any orbs, any orbs. Jesus, man. Break the light. Here. It's not a spare box. Nope. It's not spare box, it's not orbs. Yeah, honestly, coming back to this sort of era of game, I think running made it less scary. And that's kind of obvious to think about. But yeah, the game is like... I can see the basement. The game's slightly less scary. And its moments, like, walking back just then, you kind of feel stressed because you can't run. You just have to like gently walk. Gently walk to the front door and hope that it doesn't hunt. Nowadays you're like, okay, well I can run to the front door essentially. Seeing anything crazy? I'll put you up there. No, please. Okay, no feet. Wait, orbs? There is orbs. I did not see them. Okay, let's check for freezing. No. Check for the fingerprint. Definitely no fingerprint. This is in the back end. With a very intense lineup. Three of the ghosts are dots. Two of the ghosts are freezing. Ooh. Where's the threshold? Uh-oh. think it's a revenant. Just because it hasn't... I mean, Fae is definitely possible. I just have to remember that I can die on this challenge. Not that I want that to happen, but, you know, if it happens, I don't have to stress and do this again. But one thing I can do is check for freezing. Now, freezing will give us the answer. Yeah, freezing will give us the answer. Is this a revenant? From its first activities, I'd probably say Fae. That gives me an idea. $85. This, you didn't know, is an incredible trick. You've ever wondered if it's a Fae or not? Just hang about. Hang about, grab the Ouija, preferably at the beginning of the match. You would want to, you know, you want to check its age and whatnot. I'm just going to check the UV one more time. It's definitely not. So yeah, we can just hang about. We can big time hang about. I kind of hope it's both, to be honest. Like, I'd be happy for a revenant, but it's not seemingly panning out to be a revenant. But then again, I can show the Fae off. It'd be very cool. So what we have, 82, was it? Say 82. I didn't mean to click that. Slipped. You can tell that there was a change in how this game has happened. How this match has panned out to be. As soon as we entered, we had ghost event after ghost event after ghost event, and we were not welcome at all. And now there's a shift. You know, the ghost has essentially aged, which is very clear signs of a Fae. Yeah, the ghost has essentially aged, and it's not doing anything anymore. Like, it'll close a door, sure. Other than that, we've not really had anything. So what we can do now is we can check the age. Because if you didn't know, the Fae has a lot of aging opportunities. Check for freezing. It's not freezing. It's a Fae. Fae. Yeah, the Fae has a lot of aging opportunities. In fact, I think 15. So now we can go back. That was kind of creepy. Also, candles used to last forever, and they also used to be a JPEG of a fire. JPEG of fire, which was quite funny. Anyway, we can ask how old are you, and anything above 82, we're hoping to look for like 90 at least. So let's ask the question, and if it's anything above 82, hey. You have 86. So I'm gonna camp out here, quite honestly. I'm gonna hold this candle. And I'm gonna chill out. You know, I got a Pepsi ready. I got a Pepsi. Favorite drink. And we're just gonna chill. And we can wait here for as long as we want. So that phase hunting threshold from 75 is now, I reckon, 50. Not sure how low it can go. But I know it starts off as that you can hunt at 75% sanity, which is where all the red flags. Anyway, I was to say, I'd be feeling pretty, you know, lethargic right now. I'd be like, Like, I'm quite old now, but yet we age more. So let's see what the deal is. Are we 86? Or are we 88? We're 87. They has indeed been aged once again. And we can... I thought that was clipping aside for a sec. We can chill out. We can hang about. Average sanity below 75. Yeah, one thing I miss is the original candles, just because this candle goes out super quickly. The original candles never went out, because that was never a feature. But at this point, you know, we're getting somewhere. And the Fae is getting closer to its grave. No offense, Fae. Not sure I'm checking, but... What is that? Did you see that? There's something floating. Oh, wait, is that? Oh, it's the shadow or the reflection of this. Do we have the bone? The bone. We have a ghost photo and ghost writing photo. Shane? Evelyn. I think it's time. Let's see if it has aged once again. How old are you? We're at 91. This Fae has aged a lot. To the point where it's probably given up hopes on hunting. It's not really bothered about it anymore. Because it's old. It's old. And it's fine with taking it easy. But I think it's time to leave the thing to rest. It still wants to do throws. When it comes to like hunting, it's gonna be slow. So slow that I could probably loop it. I just want to wait for a levitation photo though. Maybe we can age it to 100. I mean, if we... I don't think it would age that much though. There's only a certain point you can age it to. But when you think about it, if the Fae had no aging limit, that's a great thought actually. If they had no age limit, you could age it to 1, to where it essentially can't move. Yeah. But I think the best bit comes when you hit 0. The ghost physically cannot move. Imagine you age the Fae so much that it just cannot move. But an even greater thought is when it hits 0. Since there's no cap, or in this hypothetical scenario where the ghost has no aging capacity, when it hits 0, the only option is to go to -1. Now, I caught that at the very corner. I did manage to get it. Okay, cool. Did I get a Ouija board picture? I did not. Excellent. Fae. I didn't even get an object throw yet. Yeah, where am I going with this hypothetical scene? When you hit -1, you know, it's going to be able to start picking up speed again. And in that scenario, you go -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. You are then unaging the Fae, technically. Which means you could essentially have a Fae at the speed of light. And I'm talking a ghost that can hunt. Let's say, for example, Brownston High School. You're at one end of the map, and the ghost has spotted you on the other. A Fae at -99 speed, or higher, will just be like... That's it. You would snap your fingers and just die. And it kind of reminds me... This scenario reminds me of when they added the Hantu.
Back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
If you've never seen that, go check out Psycho Hypnotic and his video with... Oh my god, we do get a ×2 for that. Screenshot. Yeah, go check out his video, search up Psycho and then onto speed up, something like that. But essentially, the onto, when it got added, it never had like a limit to how much it can speed up. So when you made Brownston High School as cold as possible, and then also get line of sight on the other side of the corridor, it would fly. It would literally just be like... And it's a great laugh, so I definitely recommend watching. Anyway, this anniversary event, get your games in, because you're going to level up a lot. In fact, I'm going to have to skip this because I've heard enough of the ticking already. And yeah, what a great celebration. Everything's party. And it kind of reminds me of when Phasmo turned 1 year old, and they had that celebration. In fact, I got rid of screenshots. You just scroll all the way down. Here we go. Here's my screenshots. So this is when I first started playing the game. This was the map. You know, you would have like 4 maps to choose from. You'd have the most basic names ever, like Thomas. This was the old van, you know, you'd had night vision happening. Night vision used to look really evil back in the day. Here it is, here's the thermometer. I don't know if you, can you zoom now? I don't think so. But yeah, this says thermometer. And as you might be able to see, but everything's kind of like blue. Oh, forward. Ah. Yeah, this was the original map. Joseph Jones. This is when prison got added. The EMF used to be white. This was when I was so terrified of playing prison that I actually couldn't handle it. So I just stood in the middle of prison for like an hour, just waiting to die. Literally just waiting to die so I can get out of the map. That was it. It was also to test my... It was also to be like, okay, the ghost killing you isn't actually that scary. Also, I'd like to point out, November 10th, 2020. So I wasn't lying. I was not lying when I said that I got this game around October. All the original equipment. That's how the book used to look. I mean, I remembered all of these for the longest time. I still remember Revenants used to be EMF 5, writing and fingerprints. This, yeah, the original bone, the original Ouija board. You could take pictures of the Ouija board moving, which would count as an interaction. So if you had a Ouija board, you could just be like, ring, 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 ring. Just get like 1 million interactions. So, 0.2. How far back? Yeah, 0.177.06. That's the earliest number I have. December 5th. But anyway, I think it's a great showcase of this is how Patient 7 used to look when it like first got introduced. It was a very like blue character. Here's the original Asylum. Yeah, Tanglewood in its door. So much stuff. The original Grafton. Asylum Professional, I'd hit level 200 and was very proud. Could break the original Asylum, I forgot about that. The most amount of money you could get as well. Not well, in a normal game, yeah. But on higher maps like Asylum, this would be like 25. The doors used to completely break. So yeah, you'd have moments where the doors were on this axis instead of at the hinge. I took that because it's funny. You know, they used to talk to each other. Also, not to mention, as I said earlier, move the lockers. They never used to be there. They were always on this wall over here. The original... Oh man. Yeah, this was the original ridge view, where the kitchen was as soon as you entered. And then that would be the living room, right in that room. And then this was a dining room. As you can see, dining table. Got a Karen on Asylum. And the bunny would just teleport randomly. Yeah, this was a very big hint at future maps, we think. Or at the time we thought. Yeah, lighthouse stuff. Kinda creepy. Christopher Robin. Davy Jones. Here we go. Thomas Wilson, as I said, used to be on this thing. Original Asylum. This was when you died in the maps, everything would be like stupidly blue. This little chicken bone. Trying to find a better picture. David Davis, Ghost in the Bath, William Williams. An empty whiteboard because someone hadn't loaded in yet. This is when they introduced the star system. As you can probably tell, there's a very clear reason that I took this screenshot. I am clicking this button. Wrong button. The original book. The original atmosphere. Like, it was so dark. I mean, it still is. But there's also like this kind of blue... This blue atmosphere. This was my favourite spot in all of Asylum. It was at the back, upstairs left. Right in the corner there was this spot which was just insanely glitchy. Good old tangled doors. This was when the bears could twist their heads. The original, these were the candles as well that never went out and were also just a JPEG image of fire. Yeah, the bone also had no restrictions of spawn, so that's a great example of bone spawns in something. You can't find a bone. This was an Edgefield glitch. In the basement where the lockers are, you could walk through the lockers onto this ledge. Then you can make like an item waterfall. Also, you could just explore the map down here. So it's very interesting. I don't think the ghost could hunt though, which it might have been able to hunt. I'm not sure. But technically, you weren't in the map, so the ghost was like, yeah, I can't hunt. I think, from what I remember. Yeah, there's loads of screenshots. That. It's very interesting because it shows how the game was like made, and that fascinates me. This is when Willow got added, I think. the good old glitchy corner. Yeah, this is when I spent 3 hours sitting in Asylum just to see what I would get. And this at the time was, I think it wasn't much, but it was like a lot at the same time. This would be like hundreds now. This would be thousands almost. Again, the blue haze, especially when you died, and the original Bleasdale. Again, you could really break the doors. Original Asylum again. Completely broken door right off its hinges. Dead body. If you didn't know, Willow used to have double doors for the garage. But this spot right here, you could hide behind this door. The ghost would not find you. And if it did find you, it couldn't get you. Broken door. Thomas again. This is a very detailed close-up of this ghost model. Very creepy. Very, very creepy. I think this creeped me out because it was like it was checking up Nancy. Of course, Nancy's not there. But it's checking up on nothing, which is very kind of spooky. I mean, great picture. Absolutely phenomenal picture. I just want to say, great picture. And that as well. Great picture. This again was the original, like, Agent 7 thing. This was from an asset pack. But, you know, they remade her to be, like, new. This is when they added dots and Goryo and other stuff got added. Someone saw Jesus, apparently. This was when the crucifix could actually burn. Bone on the stairs, please down. That's when they added new drawings and stuff. This is a screen that I don't think I've ever seen before, apart from like this once. Like this, you don't ever see this ever in new Phasmo. But yeah, essentially, when you died, you get this screen. Which I think was later removed. I think it got removed quite quickly because it just wasn't necessary. Because you knew you failed. Oh yeah, this was really creepy, the mannequins there. And the torchlight is so bright. This was when you stacked up like every torch you had in your van, and you just put it in front of something. And here is the first ever birthday. This is what I wanted to show you. So, this is the first ever birthday that they had. And it is that. It is essentially that. It's lost its shiny colour to it. But it's better. It's definitely better. And just like the original version, when this door would open a creak, which I think came in a later patch, you would then have Patient 7 appear, Isai, Isabel. Yeah, This was 2021, 4 years ago. Party. Big party. Everything was shiny. Everything. That was Christmas. But no, it wasn't. That was the night. But yeah. Anyway. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. Because party time. So yeah. I'm gonna say thank you very much for watching. But I will be announcing this. So as you know, I've been doing content creation for quite a while now. And so far, nothing's really come of it. So I did technically announce this already, but it's an upcoming video, which should be out at least by Friday. So yeah, I'm probably and most likely going to be stepping away from content creation. Especially daily videos. Daily videos it's not going to happen going forward, quite honestly. Because, you know, I'm posting a lot. Posting every day for the last year and a half now. And nothing's really coming of it. And yeah, technically it is my fault that nothing really is happening. But essentially, I'm not going to be prioritizing content creation anymore. What I want to hopefully happen is I'll focus on other stuff like life, essentially getting a job and doing this more as a hobby, which would mean the videos come not as often as, you know, daily. It's not going to be daily. But yeah, there comes a time where this has to happen, especially since, you know, it hasn't worked out. So that is essentially the announcement. YouTube stuff will be put on hold for a while. I'll probably do the weekly challenge every week. But from there on, I'm not sure what else I would be uploading. But, yeah. Don't expect daily videos anymore, because it's not gonna happen. Maybe twice a week uploads. But yeah, anyway, that is it. That is the announcement. I can't keep uploading forever and getting 2 views. But yeah. If you enjoy this kind of content, why not subscribe? Why not support? If you want to see me do more stuff like this, then please. It really does mean the world, and I say this every single time. It does mean the world if you could leave a like and subscribe. Even a comment's fine. But yeah, for now, I will say I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, as I say, there is a video coming, which isn't Phasmophobia. Actually a Terraria challenge video. I'll leak that much. It's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun recording it, so I hope you enjoy it too. Yeah, for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.